I was raised in a home, obviously with my loving parents, mom and dad, but also by an extended family that really taught us from an early age to do what was right, regardless of what was cool. But my dad taught me early on that regardless of what was going on around you, circumstances, good, bad, painful, fun, that you should be the same, regardless. That doing the right thing was always the right thing, regardless of where you were. And it always held me up to a higher standard, and it was always challenging. It didn't matter where I was at in comparison to everybody else. It was always me and him. He taught me very early on. He knew how to get into my head and my mind, and spur me on to doing what was right. Went to Mississippi College, thinking, I was about to check the box. Next step, happy life, high school, college, job, family, white picket fence, the whole thing. But it was there that I realized, I was doing the wrong thing. Not that I was in the wrong thing or in trouble or anything like that, but it was just, truly Ecclesiastes kind of 3:11 of, God set eternity on my heart. I said, I'm gonna look back at my life one day and I'm gonna go, what have I done? 2009, I left Mississippi College. I was a sophomore. Just finished my sophomore year and left at the beginning of June for basic training. No idea what I was getting into. First time I'd ever been away from home for more than a week. Really for the first time, it was just me and God. I didn't have anybody to rely on. My family wasn't there. I went to Fort Sam Houston, where I went through all my medic training, and then was assigned to the 101st Airborne. And actually got there in January, and they already had orders for June to head out to Afghanistan. And we were actually deploying to southern Afghanistan, right outside of Kandahar, and it was an area known as the Heart of Darkness. The shell shock factor of somebody, somebody's actually shooting at us went away very quickly. It just turned into, this is the norm. And one day, our outpost got attacked, and being the medic there, I was running to grab my bag, and an RPG hit a wall. A shoulder-fired rocket hit a wall about 5 feet from me, and sent pieces of the wall through my arm and my leg. I looked down and just realized that the entire right side of my body was covered in blood. And the first thought was, oh my gosh, you got hit. And I was looking around for somebody, and there wasn't nobody there. And about that time, one of my squad leaders yelled, "Doc's hit." I was medevaced out with another guy who was hurt in that fight, and I got hurt at about 12:05, and at 12:51 I was in surgery in Kandahar, about 40 miles away. I remember in the first surgery, as they were prepping me in to go in and everything, I didn't realize the severity of it. I knew that it was pretty bad. Both bones were blown out of my forearm. I was bleeding heavily. I knew there was a hole in my leg, but we didn't know what was damaged. This lady was, her job was to basically hold my neck, make sure, I was kind of in line, and then talk to me, keep me calm. And I just started talking to her. And she asked, she's like, "What's in your hand?" And I was carrying a cross. And, she informed me that she didn't believe in God. And I laughed, and I said, well, if I'm about to go meet him, I'm going to go out on a good note. And so I proceeded to tell her why I believe. And she laughed, and she said, "I will tell you this." She said, "I've been working here for several months. I've seen hundreds, if not more, guys come in here." And she said, "You're by far the calmest person I've ever seen on an operating table with what's just happened to you." I said, "It's going to work out." I said, "One way or the other." Little did I know, less than about 2 or 3 minutes later, they'd have to resuscitate me from blood loss. That was when they finally had to take the cross from my hand. It was when they had to bring me back to life during that first surgery.